Good evening, everyone. Welcome. 1st of April and 2026. Welcome to Planning and Licensing here in not quite so sunny Newquay. Right, apologies, Duncan.
Apologies from Councillors North, Morris and Williamson.
Brilliant. Okay. Normally Councillor Adlam. Oh, is Councillor Adlam away as well? Did she go when?
She accepted the meeting.
Oh, okay. I mean, she's often a little bit later.
Yeah, so I'm sort of expecting her.
Okay, interests. I have an interest, apart from crochet, which I filled the form out for, so I'll be dipping out a little bit later on. Meeting management issues. I don't think we have anyone. We've got nobody in the audience. Right, minutes. Draft minutes from the 18th of March. Does anybody have anything they want to say about that? I'm happy to propose them. Sandy seconding. All those in favour? Yeah. Matters arising from said minutes. No. No. Brilliant. I'll sign those and date that then. Brilliant. Thank you. There we go. Open session for electors. As I said, we haven't got anybody in the audience this evening in the gallery. Did we have any written?
No, we've had no written questions.
Brilliant. Oh, look at this. It's like what I like. Right. Active consultations. So, Duncan, do you want to go preliminary consultation on?
Yeah, certainly. I'll just get these folders open in your own time, computer. There we go. Right, we don't need to. Let's just have 100%. Yeah, it's
Which one are they on about?
Right. Okay, so
Oh, that one.
Cornwall Council has a proposal for the diversion of parts of public footpath number 58 in the parish of Newquay. The proposal is deemed to be in the residents' interests for the safe use of the land due to our old friend cliff erosion. I have a map of the Barrowfields here. I was surprised, and I live very close to the Barrowfields, I was surprised that there was a public footpath on there. When you look overhead, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I used to walk around here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I regularly do with the dogs, but I didn't realise that it was a maintained footpath with a. So let me show you on the planks. That's the more sensible thing to do. Okay, so is that okay, that size, or do you want me to make it a little larger? Yeah, I certainly can. Let's go page width.
Is this one going out on the live stream?
Yeah. How's that for you?
No, sir.
Oh, it is. So, sorry, sorry, I haven't shared my screen. Let's share our screen.
It's been more interested in it than us.
Oops.
Oops. Was
So
that Cornwall Council? Oops. Was it goes over the edge?
That's what we say when we're not certain what the button was that we pressed.
Oh.
Right.
Infinity
Share.
and beyond.
And it usually asks me what I want to share. I'm going to share my screen. There we go.
That's
right.
us, Duncan.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm not entirely certain what the difference between a preliminary consultation and a consultation is. It looks to be very, very similar. So this is solely an informal consultation, we are told, inviting feedback concerning the proposed changes to this public right-of-way. The plans that we are looking at, the pink lines that you can see, are the existing sections of footpath 58 that will remain. There are 3 sections in red, 1, 2, so A, B, C, D and E, F up there. These sections are effectively where footpath 58 pretty much spans thin air. So these will be extinguished, and the 3 sections in green that you can see adjacent to the red sections will be will be created to ensure the continuity of footpath 58. You'll also note that there is a brown line marked along the coastline. That's on the quay, that's marked as new fence alignment. I'm not sure if this involves replacing or just reworking the existing fence line. I have this funny feeling that I've seen something somewhere that they were going to redo that fencing, but I might have dreamt it. I don't know. I looked and looked in this consultation and I couldn't find it.
I'm sure they're moving the fence inland, aren't they?
I was going
Yes,
to ask that because there is another consultation where they're asking for people who use the path and what do they think about the new fencing that they're planning to put in. So I'm surprised we haven't got that one at the same time. Effectively, they're saying the fencing is falling in and we're going to replace it. And there's it's one of the Cornwall Talks type things. It's definitely there. So we haven't been sent that, because the 2 must be connected.
We've certainly not been sent it in time for this meeting.
No.
It might be something that I've received, looked at very quickly and squirreled it away for the next meeting.
Because again, it's
I'm sure that I've seen something.
We want to know what you, the people who use that think about our proposals to change the fencing.
Which is more, you know, poignant really, isn't it? Really, well, it's obviously it needs moving, isn't it? So I know, I've got no issues with this. I mean, the coast is eroding. The fence needs moving back in line into the Barrowfield. I mean, I can remember when the cliff collapsed, where they've got E on the corner back in the 80s, and it's nearly up to the road. I'm surprised actually that they haven't even taken it further back than that. That it doesn't actually go on the pavement.
So anyway, the fence isn't part of this. Sorry, I'm probably overcomplicating things. The fence isn't part of it. You are just looking at the 3 red sections to be extinguished, the 3 green to be created.
2 bits of them in bin air, aren't they?
They are, yes, at least 2 bits.
Yeah.
We're invited to either raise no objection or to object to this.
I propose no objection. Seconder? Sandy seconding. All those in favour?
As long as they know what they're doing and that it's not going to be in 10 years' time go through again.
There'll be another environment person, Cormac person going over the cliff. Right. Are you right turning your microphone off, Joanna?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Right, so is that the only one, Duncan? Yes, consultation. Right, item 8 then, licensing. I'm going to be stepping out for this and passing over chairing to Sandy. It's the Pagan Arms on Beach Road and the changing of their hours.
Right, Duncan, this is the Pagan Arms, I believe.
Right, yeah. Thank you, Sandy. Okay, so Cornwall Council have received an application for a variation of an existing premises licence. I've known this premises as a few different names actually. The picture that we can see here is when it was the Sink Inn. I believe that a transfer of the licence has taken place, so it has been taken over by new people and has been renamed as the Pagan Arms. The key elements to this variation are adding 1 hour to all standard timings. That's opening hours and licensable activities, and then amending the terminal hour for the outdoor area that you can see in front of you from 10:30 to midnight. So how does this all all translate? In terms of opening hours, the terminal hour Monday to Sunday at the moment is 1:30 in the morning. So it's one of our later ones, but not the latest in town. They want to put an hour onto that, so that would become, they would be able to open up until 2:30 in the morning. In terms of alcohol, currently the terminal hour is, as you'd expect, 1 o'clock in the morning, so that would become 2 o'clock. Interestingly, they're only non-standard timings, which would usually take a licence on a little bit later. Their only non-standard are New Year's Eve, and they aren't amending those. So in actual fact, the non-standard timings are going to be the same as the standard at the end of this. Recorded music is licensed for indoors only, and that's currently terminal hour of 1, becomes 2 o'clock, and the same again for live music. And again, that's indoors only. Late night refreshment currently finishes at 1, we'll finish at 2. There is an Annex 2 condition, so that's one that would have been put forward by the licence holder at some point when the licence was applied for. That Annex 2 condition says the outside area will be closed and cleared by 10:30 each night. That 10:30 will be extended until midnight under this application. Having had a quick look through this, in terms of additional conditions that appear to have been added, because it was slightly vague, and we may wish to sort of kind of reiterate this, but it said it appears that in terms of public nuisance, the applicant has suggested that signs would be put up encouraging customers to be respectful of neighbours, because I believe there are, I mean, you're probably going over as far as here, but there are some residential properties not a million miles away. I know it's the centre of town. They've said there will be no glass after 11 p.m. I think that means outside. I'm not certain on how they would implement that, but that's not our problem. But that would be that wouldn't be an unusual condition to have on an outside area that was operating so late. And thank you. And they want to close 2 of the 3 exits to this front area to limit customers running through. I mean, I'm presuming that makes the handling of customers a little bit more easy. In terms, and I think that you can see the 3. There's one here where that table is. There's one on this side, and there's one on this side, and they want to limit that just to 1 in and out. In terms of prevention of crime and disorder, in terms of meeting that licensing objective, they've said security on Friday and Saturday nights. They didn't give a starting hour, but that would be until closing time. Which would seem to be very sensible. I spoke with the civilian police licensing officer about this. She reports having had no issues with this premises, which is promising. She feels the door staff condition is required, and I believe that she's going to make this clear, as it's crime and disorder licensing objective we're talking about. She's going to make this clear in her representation. So that's your application, really. It's taking what is quite a late finishing venue and it's making it finish a little later. I've not heard anything from Cornwall Council regarding noise complaints, and I mean, I don't know if you councillors have anecdotally heard anything, but it is quite a small premises, as you can see. So that is the application then.
Councillor Kenny?
But so is this what was formerly Pentar House, which is converted back into a pub? Or have I got confused?
The building is Pentire House, yeah.
And
But
where's
I mean, God, once upon a time it was the whole thing, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
Once upon a time it's Corkers, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
and then it
think.
was Harry Ramsden. So now,
Oh, it was Harry Ramsden as well. So, but we are just talking about this downstairs area.
So they've
as
now
far as I'm
converted
aware.
back to making it a bar or whatever.
It already has been a bar. It was operating as something called, you can just about see it there, the Sink Inn. So since Harry Ramsden's, it's been a bar. It's had at least one iteration of being a bar, and maybe more.
They were going to make, well, they did make it because they got lots of money. They're converting it to a general workspace, plus I think a flat on the top floor. So is the whole building involved in this licence, or is it just literally? So it's still Pentar House.
I believe that the premises just occupies the ground floor. There are no plans provided with this because they aren't making any changes to the plans. But my understanding, having been in there once, was that it was operating on the ground floor. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Yeah.
It's called Pagan Arms.
That's what. The license is transferred to new people. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Possible flat, but I don't think anyone's ever lived there. So it's within, it's not really got anywhere that people are living there. I mean, the nearest is Beachfield Avenue, isn't it, really, which is further down. Are the other places like, the one that used to be Cribber and is now called something else, yeah, whatever. I mean, are they open to the same amount of time? Because you have to be aware this is an accumulative impact zone, isn't it?
It is in the CIZ, and thus the CIZ is really most aimed at crime and disorder issues.
Yeah.
Hence the door staff, and that being something that the civilian police licensing officer will be asking for as well. So I think what they've put down is slightly vague. I believe that she will put down something that's a little bit more firm, a little bit less woolly.
I can't see public order being a huge problem, not just for an extra hour, which is the one we look at. Are we saying if the police are happy, we've got nothing to say, or?
Councillor Brooke?
Do we have any figures on capacity?
No, I don't have actually. There was
But it's going to be small because of.
I got a copy of the original license. I don't think that it gave.
It's just the ground floor, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just the ground floor.
But if
Right.
we get good weather, that front bit is going to be heaving, isn't it? Not necessarily.
Is the front outdoor going to be?
So the terminal hour for outdoors would become midnight. So that's actually having an hour and a half added onto it. But they are saying no. They are saying no glass from 11 p.m. It is just sensible stuff. I'm not certain if the glass condition refers to inside and outdoors. It doesn't specify, but it would certainly cover outdoors and possibly indoors as well.
If it's the sort of place that if it gets through, I just think it probably will, if it causes problems, then you can review the licence. But I can't see any reason to make I'm going to propose don't make a representation on this one, providing the police are happy. Or, again, that's a sort of representation. No. Well, I think...
Well, if the police aren't happy, it won't go through, will it?
No,
I think we can
exactly.
put a caveat on what we're looking at by saying, at the moment, if we know representation, should the police start objecting, then we might look at it again.
Or based on
Yeah, I was just about to say the same. If there were, because I can see drinking outside till 12 o'clock could in the summer months become a bit of a problem. But are we at liberty to say, can we just see how it goes, kind of thing?
I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you can't, the problem is that if you actually say, we'll see how it goes, it becomes a representation. And then you have to have a committee about it. It's ridiculous. So my proposal is we don't make a representation, but privately we do see how it goes. And then if it's
I think in that area that the most trouble is probably walkabout sort of area when they're chucking out, but that's probably 2 a.m, so these will be long shut by then.
The terminal hour for this is going to be 2:30. Yeah.
my proposal is we don't make a representation at this time.
Do I have a seconder for that? Right. Right, show of hands. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
That's probably right. And I mean, for those of you who aren't as familiar with the licensing stuff, the mechanisms exist for if this does go wrong. If it turns out, and it's probably not to do with the license, it's to do with who's running the place. If it did go horribly wrong, the Licensing Act has mechanisms by which, and we have seen that in nearby premises, Salt.
The police did
Yeah,
make it.
that was quite a big review. These things do happen.
If there was a representation, I would like to think about it again so that we can have a presence at the hearing. But is there any way we can unofficially find that out?
No, not really.
No.
I think, I mean, the way this tends to work is if the police say, we want this, then they would usually, a sensible applicant is going to say, absolutely, and it would then be dealt with as a hearing by documentation. If the applicant said no, we don't think door staff should be here, we don't agree with this, it would then go to a licensing hearing and Cornwall councillors would be faced with a very experienced civilian police licensing officer saying, really, it needs this, or the flip side is an applicant going, no, we don't want door staff. So there is really, the police, certainly with crime and disorder, their view carries all the weight.
Okay, right, moving on. Previous planning applications, item 9, Duncan.
No previous, no 5-day protocols. We've just got one that's coming to an end now.
Yeah.
But we'll ratify that one at the next meeting,
At the next
if that's
meeting.
all right.
Brilliant. Okay, so planning applications, we haven't got anything on list 1, have we? No. I think, well, it will become apparent the reasons that we don't as we go through list 2, but I presume, are we still on the 5 applications? Or did it, another one?
There's one more came in.
One more came
a
in,
sixth
okay.
one came in, but we
Okay.
certainly would have discussed that.
Yeah, okay.
When we screened it, we certainly would have put it on list 2.
Right, application 1, PA 26/01508, 82 4 Street. The replacement of existing retractable fabric awning with a new aluminium framed retractable pergola awning extending to the front railing. We felt this one because it's in a historical area that Joanna would like to see this, so that's why we put it on today's. Yeah.
I did actually ask the conservation group if they had any problems and they haven't come back with anything.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Joanna. Duncan.
Okay, so the only response that I've seen, I did look at it sort of mid-afternoon today, the only one that I've seen was site allocations. But you will note our support for a previous application for something not wildly dissimilar. So I'll just go on to the overhead. Okay, so if you look where the red pointer is, any second now, yeah, a little orange knife and fork comes up, and that is Souchet. So there we go, on 4th Street. I'll quickly we'll quickly look at the. Sorry, my computer's misbehaving a bit. Quickly look at the location plan, just so that you can see the see its proximity to neighbours and the application site itself, and. This block plan shows us where the this aluminium framed retractable pergola awning extending to the front would be. So you've got this open area in the of the shop here. If we have a look on Google Street View, it'll make a little bit more sense, I think. So this is the open area that they wish to cover. This is seems like the Google car has not been down 4th Street for a very long time. This is 2009, so it's an older image, but what it does do for us is confirms that there has been some sort of awning stroke cover here when other businesses have occupied it. There has been something there for some time. So we've got some, we'll start off with, where's my photographs? I'm just going to make that a little bigger for you. So we've got four really useful photographs. So 1 and 2 give us an idea of the current appearance. So you see it's a different awning, larger awning to the one we saw on that old Street View picture. We have a picture of the awning open. We have a picture of the awning closed. The dog features in both of them, which is nice. Yes. Yes. Picture number 4 gives us an idea of the open nature of the current awning. And then number 3, this illustrates the limitations of the current awning, particularly when the weather is wet, and that's really the purpose of this application. The applicant also provided a covering letter explaining that due to seasonally adverse weather conditions, it is currently necessary to close the restaurant throughout November, December, January and the first half of February. Some local rainfall figures have also been provided to back up this point. I don't think we need to go into them. We know that. We know that it rains in Newquay. So, yes, indeed. Yeah. So, right. So I should have a design and access statement there. I cannot see it. So let's just. Where's that gone? Completely disappeared, not to worry. The design and access statement tells us that the proposal represents a modest improvement to the commercial frontage through the replacement of an existing awning with a durable, lightweight aluminium pergola. So really we need to know what it's going to look like. I did speak to the officer because I must admit I found these drawings slightly challenging. That's an.
It's not too much away there, is it?
Yeah, no. This is an overhead view. The sort of grey bit is the shop, and then this is the open area in front of it. So this is the proposed front elevation with the awning opened. Okay.
Because this is where I got Are they saying that there's going to be some sort of permanent, because at the moment the opening awning and it just flaps around in the breeze, are they actually putting a permanent frame for it to be there? That's the difference. Yeah.
So this is... So, here we have the proposed front elevation with the awning closed. So, open, closed. But we do have one more image which sort of illustrates the point that I think to some extent that Councillor Kenny was making. Again, we have an open and closed image, but you can see that you've got these uprights, you've got a vertical structure that goes to the wall of the building, and then I think that you've got two actually, and I think that the awning will basically kind of come down and fill that open space on a rainy day. I mean, my notes say it appears to be a permanent open pergola structure, no enclosed sides or front. So it's effectively going to be, I would describe it as a frame, to be honest. It'll be in a powder-coated aluminium. Obviously, it features an awning that will be able to be open and closed. We do have some planning history to consider here, though. I've mentioned that we had a comment from a previous application. I think it was around about 2022, something like that. Yeah, in fact, it was. So in February 2022, based mainly on a desire to help and support businesses, this committee looked favourably on a proposal for a weather shelter to the existing outside seating area. However, the local planning authority refused that application. Only one reason for refusal was given, and that was that the proposal shall, through its siting, form, massing and appearance, lead to incongruous additions to the street scene to the detriment of the character of the host property and wider area. That particular structure wasn't wildly different from this, but it did have enclosed front and sides, so glass or some sort of polymer, but it did have
So, can I ask?
No, I don't think that it was. It was the application. It had similarly exciting pictures to go with it as this one as well. It may well have been the same architect drew them up, but the description was a weather shelter to existing outside seating area. So it wasn't enclosed. Sorry, it was enclosed around front and sides and roof, as far as I remember.
So,
This
It's
is
just
retractable
the
and
awning.
open-sided.
so this isn't like the Istanbul down the road where it's like bubbled in, isn't it? It's got sides and everything. It's not like that in a sort of.
And if memory serves me correctly, it was that we saw in 2022.
Yeah, okay. That's before
I
my
think.
time. Joe, you're there
So
first.
just to clarify, there is no provision for sides or front, not even retractable.
No. My understanding is that it will when the awning isn't there, it will just present as a frame.
Yeah, folded up awning against the back wall.
Is it
Yeah.
your
I think it might be useful for us to go back to these photographs, because as Councillor Kenny or somebody said, this looks like it's sort of, because that's a big awning. I mean, I've got one of these out the back of my house, and this is a huge one, isn't it? So I,
Back and forth, yeah, I mean, if you go somewhere.
I think the issue is that before, not only is that an awning that you might suggest is vulnerable to the weather, but the weather comes in through the sides. And I'm struggling to work out the utility of this proposal, because I think the underneath is still going to get absolutely soaked, because rain doesn't fall vertically in Newquay, it falls horizontally. So, well, the liquid sunshine. So I'm a bit worried that it won't work. So.
Anna?
I would like, I mean, in principle, I have not a problem with it because I think if you've got basically 2 poles on either corner to hold it, and I don't think they could be removed. What I would like is the heritage officer, because it's a lovely old building. I would like the heritage officer to take a look, and I would also like to be aware or have some reassurance, because you look at the picture with the dog sitting in front with the menu. It's got some lovely stonework on it, and I would want some reassurance that there was going to be no damage to the historical what's the word? Building. Fabric, that's the word. Yes, historical fabric.
Duncan? Yeah.
looking at the delegated officer report from 2022, the officer has said that well, one of the reasons for refusal is because of the key characteristics of developments within this area. Attention should be paid to conservation and enhancement of historic fabric and architectural details, including those described in the the CSUS and the Newquay Character Study. And then goes on to refer to policy 24 of the local plan, which sets out that proposals should protect the historic maritime environment, including significance of ports, harbours and quays. So it really was an issue of the historic character of this part of the town that was the problem before. And I would agree with you. I was slightly surprised that it's only us and site allocations that have been consulted on this. I would have thought the heritage officer would have been
I think it's...
So
and if you went back and said, we think the heritage officer ought to be consulted.
Shall we say, I'm happy to propose no objection. So, pending that we can have some supporting statement from the heritage officer in terms of visual impact on historically important area of the town.
Can we add to that no damage to the historic fabric
Fabric of the
When
building.
you look at the picture of the dog, it's got some beautiful stuff there.
Yeah. Well, you can just see it with the
No,
rendering
it's the one
and the
with the dog.
stonework round.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they're going to have to make holes in the wall, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think going back and saying that we think that the heritage officer's view is required. I don't think that would be the worst option.
I've got to admit, I'm not terribly clean on the painting on the front wall. I think it's a bit. Anyway. Yeah. Vote on. No objection.
I was just going to say, they just probably want to try and, well, the reason they're doing it is to try and increase their numbers that can use it, and we should be sort of supporting.
Yeah, well, we're going no objection.
businesses.
Yeah.
And I think if it's just the frame, I can live with the frame, really, because it's still going to be retracted back. So.
Dig holes in the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's worth noting that the reason that this was supported in 2022 was because this committee wanted to support business. And obviously we were just coming out of a very difficult time as well. I mean, I'll happily include a comment that says we are keen to support business, but we would like the reassurance of the heritage officer. It's, you know, it's a balancing act between businesses and historic fabric, this one.
I don't like amending one.
It's sort of like their decision, yeah. So, I mean, if they're not going to be able to allow to, you know, box it in like other cafes, so that's fine. Brilliant. Okay. Application 2, PA 26/01140, is the hard and soft landscaping works at Crantock Street Community Garden. Yeah, I mean, normally gardening doesn't need planning permission, but as it is where it is, there we go. I mean, it is they're digging up, I think, isn't it, the old foundations? Is it for the old fire station that are there? Well, there's something about there's an old wall, isn't it, that they're doing stuff for, yeah.
Whilst these are just opening themselves up, I spoke to the town clerk about this. His advice is that as a financial guarantor, the town council does have a pecuniary interest in this application. However, I have been reassured that none of you as town councillors have a pecuniary interest. So you can, depending on how you're feeling about this, you can discuss and return the comment to Cornwall Council, or you can just note this application and move on. It's entirely up to you and how you feel this would present itself to people looking in. But you have nobody in this room has a pecuniary financial interest in this application.
Yeah. So what's on? So
Well, your options are that we can proceed and discuss this because you have no financial interest, or you may feel that because of the town council's role as guarantor, you feel that you would just note the application and move on without discussion or returning a comment.
personally, I would have gone for the second option, but I'm up for debate on this as to if you want to discuss it. It is.
It can't be worse than those hideous great things they did to stop the people parking on it, and then they put concrete all
Yeah, but I'm just saying before, in terms of with the pecuniary interest, and because the Newquay Town Council is giving them money. So we
are acting as a financial guarantor.
But we have given them money for it. We have given them £5,000 for it. So we have a pecuniary interest. This is what Duncan's initially saying. So are we happy that we do discuss this, actually having a vested interest in it, or do we say it's just for noting and that it's decided or with all planning applications in the Cornwall Council? Joanna?
Can we discuss it and then decide whether we've got a vested interest? I'd like to know what they're doing. Because I think it's going to be, I mean, I've looked at it and I can't see anything. But if we can discuss it first and then decide how we're going to approach our conclusion.
I would just, as a sort of in terms of giving a little bit of direction, if we think about Sarah and the last licensing application where she had a pecuniary interest and so left the room, I don't think what you're saying works. You need to decide before if you're going to. You can't look at it and then go, oh, we've got a pecuniary interest, or we aren't comfortable with this. You need to make that decision before.
Surely all we're doing as the guarantor is to be the person holding the bank account when they apply for grants.
Absolutely.
So we're not investing any town council money.
So you have no, as councillors in this room, you have no pecuniary interest. The town council does have, but as councillors you do not have.
Is it because there is a risk that if they default on something, we might have to cover?
But we have,
Yeah.
we have given them grant money from ENF.
Yeah.
They have had grant money. So the way we've already supported them with this. So, Joe, you've some.
Before we proceed, and I think it's important to note that we have not yet proceeded with anything, and this is a question for the chair. Duncan, you present things, don't you? Can you present the case, and then we can either not discuss it and note it, or then if we have an opinion, is it too much? Is it crossing the line if you present it? Are we in dodgy territory?
Duncan consulted with the town clerk, and he said that it wasn't necessary, but it's what we felt was applicable. See, to me, because we have given them money, we have already donated to this project, then in my mind, we have given that, we have supported them with everything we do. I think it's quite how we could give that a fair look at until like, no, we don't like that, or and ooze all over it and go, yes, it is. I think it's going to be a bit of a done deal. So for me, I think it would have been better for noting, but that is my view, and that's what Joanna obviously thinks, that it's not a.
I'm just wondering, can I ask, why are they having to go? I mean, all they're doing is replacing a couple of planters. Why on earth do they need planning permission for that?
Are we now discussing it?
Well, it is a...
Well, the local planning authority have said, yes, this has, you know, there is material considerations involved in this. In its simplest form, it affects the street scene. So.
And it is impacting on historical stuff that's there.
I think, having given this bit of thought, my view is that I don't think I can, in honesty, proceed with this. I think if you do discuss it, I'll say. Or we could just note it.
I can see what it's doing, so that's all I wanted to know.
Lamona, what's your idea on this?
I think as you're the chair, we should go.
I mean, we can. Yeah. I'm going to propose it's just for noting. So second that. So if we can have a vote on that. So that's carried, and then two people have. Yeah. Go on, John. Yeah. And yeah. But I mean, the plans there, if you want to have a look at it, you know, Karen, it's there, and you look at what they're proposing. We're not stopping you doing that, but do you understand where I'm coming from on this?
A lot of it is about how it would be perceived from the outside looking in.
Right.
If people were looking at it and going, oh, well, town council is supporting this,
for somebody else looking in saying, we're going to discuss this, but as the town council, we've already given them £5,000 for it. We've already said we're underwriting it. That might be, look, that we've already got a vested interest in it, then we're going to be biased. So that's what I'm saying that I'm not happy with. With that. Yeah.
How this really feels.
Yeah.
The slimmest of majorities, you have decided that that we'll just note this one.
Yeah. Thank you, Duncan. Right. Application 3, PA 26/01490, 8 St Mary's Road. This one's back again. Even though if you note the weekly decisions, it's been passed. But they want to change the rear dormer. So I don't think we put this on the list because we'd already discussed it, and so sort of just bring it in. But I think this is going to be quite quick. Duncan.
This is the address that keeps on giving, isn't it? So, having objected to proposed changes to the front of the property back in February, you'll recall having raised no objection to the revised application, which addressed those issues. And as Councillor Thompson says that that last application that we raised no objection to was swiftly approved by the Planning Authority. I think we all know where 8 St Mary's Road is now, and I think that we all know exactly what the property looks like.
How can you forget that?
I go home after one of these meetings and I totally erase it from my mind.
We wanted them to keep the white line going, the ridge line, not the ridge line, the guttering line, to going across. And so they then came back with the dormer on the front, and that's all been passed, and with the stuff at the back. So what they've come back with is, changing the dormer at the back.
Yeah, we shall see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little slower. Okay, so what I want you to focus on is this drawing in this bottom right-hand corner as you look at it. This is the loft conversion element of this, okay? So this was the application where they extended the bay window upwards above the level of the eaves of the roof. I think you can see in the bottom left there. And that had to be amended because the officer and this committee were not happy with that. So the approved application, again, keep your eye on that second floor plan. The approved application, see, we now no longer have that additional space. So effectively they've lost a bit of space in that loft conversion that we've created. So that has been approved. Again, keep your eye on that bottom right-hand corner image. The current proposal, current proposal effectively claws back that lost space by creating it at the rear. Okay? So let's just
So it's a new floor level on the back to make it 3 stories. So we brought it in with concerns.
So we go from this with the bay to no bay, just a square effectively, and then we've got this at the back. So really, Mr. Sparks, the applicant, is adjusting for the loss at the front by gaining space at the back. Obviously, what it looks like is key to us. So just have a look at the approved and then this proposal. So the approved elevation, the south elevation, and the rear gap.
So look at this.
Two spaces at the back, but they've created, as part of the loft conversion, this flat roof door.
So watch that.
You can see it on the sides here. This is the front bay down here, and this is this 2-story rear extension. It's already in place.
Yeah.
So if we now flip to that,
Yeah.
you can see that. I mean.
So I mean.
I thought the description was slightly clumsy worded because we should interpret it as a new rear dormer finished with white render, but it's actually new rear dormer finished with white render. And I'm not being a bit clerical here.
So
this. I'll just say that this is really a dormer, isn't it?
No.
In my mind, this is actually,
it's an extension.
But it's actually
a new floor.
Extension.
There's an extension, yeah. So, well, in terms of that, you've got sort of similar views created already, but my concern is because this is coming out to the south, it's going to create a lot of shadowing when in the morning from from the east and in the afternoon from the west with the neighbour here, because this is a large raising of the height of that
the
bulk.
scale of mass is
Yeah.
Google managed to take a photograph back in the rear.
No, we can't.
Not that
We've
not
only got
that we're
satellite
aware
images. So, so I do have concerns with that. So, with that large increase of mass and the shadowing impact, it's going to create on either side. Now, the planning officer might go, it's not okay, and it'll come back as a 5-day protocol and look to approve. So, Joe?
Do we have any shading surveys or anything?
no, there's there's nothing like that.
So
But,
if you look
yeah.
sort of like that's it there, and of course it's butting on to the neighbour extension. So it's going to be, so I don't know what's going on with the neighbour here, and it literally, the impression it gives from the drawings is that there's a gap, and there isn't. It's it's a semi-detached going up. So I don't know what's happening with this bit, where there are windows, if there's windows in that. So, yeah.
So Duncan, can we go back to the plan? Sorry, the elevations, because I think
the approved or the proposed?
the proposed. So you commented earlier that it is a, shall we say, substantial dormer, but it is technically it is still a dormer, because you can see that there is some
Yes,
of the
there's a
original
bit of
roof
roof there,
preserved,
isn't there? That's
and I
it,
think
yeah.
that's how they're going to cope with the neighbour, because there's going to be a gap of maybe 8 inches or something. So
Sorry. No, I'm going to abstain on this one because I think I'd agree. With no visualisation about what's there, he could be replicating what they're doing next door, but we just don't know
Yeah,
because there's been no
we don't
evidence
know.
at all of what's in that
No.
back lane. There's some pretty monstrosities in there. So,
but we are concerned.
Yeah. But you see, sort of like, as well as, the shadowing of this, then over the neighbours. So they've got, the neighbours on this side also have an extension coming out. I don't know what windows they've got there. Then this bulk is going to then cast a shadow over the neighbours. That is my concern, is shadowing. So I'm going to propose object with concerns of shadowing on neighbouring properties to the east and west, and see what comes back, really. I mean, he might come back and go, it's not a big deal.
they haven't given us any information.
No. And also concerned about the large increase of mass at the rear as well.
Which may be totally inappropriate.
Yes, which may be inappropriate.
I support. Sorry, I will second that, provided that we put it in the note that we've got lack of information.
Yeah.
I've taken
Yeah.
That's fine.
Basically, I'm saying we're not
Course we-
enough indication to be 100%
Yes,
certain. But
as
as
to
it
what's-
stands, we're not convinced that it wouldn't impact the residential
Seems sort of
beach,
duty on either side.
shadowing and an
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask, is it changing the front at all from the permission they have? So it's
No.
purely the stuff at the back, right?
Yeah. So Joe's seconding. All those in favour of objection, and one abstention from Joanna.
Saying because it's in
Yeah.
my division, and who
Yeah,
knows
no,
what's
it's
going to
fine.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. Right, application 5, PA 26/017. Sorry, okay, I was getting ahead of myself. Sorry, application 4, PA 26/01702, 61 Uyela Road, side dormer extension. This will make you chuckle when Duncan goes through it. It's always so when it's a side dormer, and it's like, oh, look where the window is.
Right. Okay, so the overhead shows us number 61. If we zoom in a bit, you can see 61 is half of what was a semi-detached bungalow.
And if you leave it there, Duncan, so there's the neighbour there, and bear in mind these windows here. Okay. As to where the dormer will be and the neighbour. Yeah, go on.
So it has already benefited from a loft conversion. So it is effectively, it's a bungalow in shape, but it's a dormer bungalow now. This current application seeks a modest increase to the floor space in that converted loft through the addition of a side-facing dormer. So, sorry, where are we? Just bear with while these open up. That's completely the wrong ones. Sorry, excuse me, I'm opening the wrong application. Oh, this is a nice straightforward one because we've just got 2 plans. Right. Okay, so the ground floor plan appears to be unchanged as far as we can tell. So it's the first floor plan that we're interested. I'll just try and find the proposed first floor plan. There we go. Right. So this is your loft conversion. Bedroom, and it's got a small bathroom. I think you can just about on the drawing make out there's a sink and toilet, so you've got a small bathroom space serving this loft bedroom. On the proposed, you'll see that they've gained space and so are able to make a larger bathroom. Well, they've added a bath to it. They have included obscure glass on the window that is facing the neighbour.
Yeah.
I think the key to this one really is probably with the street view. So there's currently a Velux window there actually, but that is what it's looking at. But I don't know, I'm not really certain what these windows are. I mean, the way they're on top of each other, they look as if they could be obscured themselves. Is it a stairwell? Are they landings? And they are putting obscured glass into this dormer.
But at the moment, the property is to the south of this. And again, there's the concern that if you're putting a mass onto the side here, then you're going to be creating shadow into those windows as well. Yes, I mean, we can insist that they say it's going to be obscure glass because it's going to be a bathroom, and so that's it. But because at the moment, the roof being pitched away, then, from planning applications we've seen in the past, when it's that close to the neighbour, it lets light in. So it's not so overbearing for the neighbouring property because it is so close. So
We ought to familiarise ourselves with what it looks like as well. So that's the street-facing view as it stands at the moment, and that's it with the side dormer in place. As you can see, they've got some PVPs on the side. That's the existing with that Velux and a couple of solar panels, and they're keeping those, and it is quite a modest dormer.
yeah,
With frosted glass, it's and we're not quite certain what it's looking into. I'm not aware of there being any local objections, but then it's a household application, and I shouldn't think that Cornwall Council have told the neighbours that this has even been applied for. So,
So what are we saying? No objection?
No objection.
No pending, pending that there's not to, not overshadowing, and, yeah. Thoughts on that? Yeah? Seconder then? Yeah, all those in favour, no objection to that? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Right, application 5, PA 26/01755, 33 Hillgrove Road. Proposed rear side extensions and associated works. Duncan.
Start with the overhead view. Yeah, so number 33 is just above the red quarter here. I'm just going to zoom in a bit. So just above the red quarter. And you can see it's got sort of distinct, almost like an H shape to it.
It's interesting, the bulk of the house is at the back, isn't it? Rather than the front.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry. The street facing is, facing that green line there, Hillgrove Road. So the bulk of it is actually at the rear. As you can see, it's sort of got these opportunities, I think, for infill. So the existing. I think if I'll just have a look at this, bring it down to the street view as well quickly, because that is helpful in understanding this. Because the first thing that you notice with this is that there is no front door. There are 3 bedrooms, and they're all at the front of the property. So the entrance is actually down the side here. If we look at the existing elevations, I'll just make that slightly larger. If we look at those elevations, so the east is the street facing. So you've got a garage door, but as I say, you've just got windows, no entrance. The north is the side that sort of faces up Hillgrove Road, if you like. Sorry, I've gone too far over there. The west elevation, that's the rear, and that's sort of facing down the road. This is the west is the rear. The south this faces down the road, and this is the side that you walk down to get in. So that's currently the main entrance porch. And the floor plans. You can see this entrance porch here. I mean, that's already looks like a bit of fill-in that's taken place. And then you've got obvious opportunity for fill-in on this side. So if we look at the proposed then, what I just wanted to do is kind of give you an impression of the change. So that or certainly the street facing change. So that east elevation with the windows and no front door is going to look like this. So they are building a porch and front door. So that's really the key change that you will see from the street.
So are they changing one of the bedrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And we'll have a quick look at that.
It's nice with the stone cladding,
Quick
though.
look at that floor plan in a minute. The north, they are filling this in. There is a utility room, but the infilled space is being used to create an ensuite for what will be a master bedroom. The west, that shows the sort of kind of rear extension, which will accommodate a sunroom with bifolds to the rear garden and a new kitchen, as we'll see on the floor plans in a minute. And yeah, that east elevation, sorry, where's that east elevation gone? No? South elevation, that shows the, yeah, the sort of side view of what they're doing at the back, so the slight extension at the back, and then the porch at the front. Just come across and have a look at these. In terms of the infill then, this was the porch, the entrance porch. That is then being converted into a bedroom, and then where this ensuite is, that was an open space with a pantry. You've now got, they're keeping the pantry as a utility room, and they're filling in on that
Yeah.
side. So,
Yeah,
so it's really opportunities for infill on this. What we have got though is, and I probably should have gone to these a bit earlier, is some really quite nice 3D images that help us make sense of it, particularly
Is that window, again with the proximity with the neighbours. So I think this is going to be the bathroom. So I think, isn't it, if we go back to the plan, I think that's the bathroom window. We just need to make sure that's obscure glass, really. So I've got no
we'll
problems
just,
with this.
I will double check that, but I think that's
Yes,
yeah,
the bathroom
this is
window
the
there.
window that you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
So that's
You
going.
can you can wave at the neighbours when.
Facing the other way.
Yeah. If it, but if you're a gentleman mind, it might relax you in terms of you can wave at the neighbours as they go past. So yes, I think if we insist on a obscure.
So we'll
frosted glass.
say new side view.
Yeah. Joanna?
I quite like this.
Yeah, I know. I like
think
the stone
putting
thing.
the porch on
Yeah.
the front is sensible.
Yeah,
It's filling it in.
yeah.
As I say, yeah,
It's
get
keeping it as a
obscure
bungalow,
glass
you
on
know,
the-
which I like.
Obscure glass on the loo, but otherwise,
Yeah, I know. It's keeping the bungalow. So yes, round of applause to them for that. And they've still got plenty of garden at the back. I think, yeah, I'd put into support, and if we could see some with the frosted glass then, and some, is it G2 measures like with for water
Yeah.
butts and things with that extension out the
Certainly.
back. Yeah. And if I can't remember, did it have solar panels on?
Are they putting any solar panels in?
Yeah, can we see
No,
some
I
solar-
don't. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe
Yeah,
that
if we can
they
see
are.
some solar panels
Yeah,
on
so
that, that'd be good.
I'll
Yeah.
put in the GT
You've got
wording.
rooms.
So sorry, I got the proposal.
Yeah, seconder? Sandy seconding, all those in favour? Yeah, brilliant. Well done, and congratulate them on keeping the bungalow. Yeah. Wonderful. Right, application 6, PA26/01449.
This is the one from next door, isn't it?
This is what we hadn't looked at when we were screening.
Yes, so land at Trevivick Manor, down at Trevemper there. Well, I'm not going to read all that out. It's twiddling. Duncan, what are they twiddling?
What
Quite
this
an
was?
interesting article on the front, I think in The Voice, which described the changes.
I wish I'd seen that. I've been battling with the 2021 application has got like it's about 500 documents associated with it, and this has got another 62. So I mean I must apologise now. I did struggle with this a bit, but I'll just say that 17 different statutory consultees, including ourselves and Colan Parish, have been consulted. The fact that it's in Colan,
less houses, isn't it?
we wouldn't normally be consulted on something that's in Colan, but this is obviously right on the edge of or adjacent to the boundary of Newquay. It didn't have to be the boundary of Newquay; it could have been the boundary of Well, yeah. I'm still bitter about the community governance review that didn't redraw the line around that would have included this. But anyway,
We'll go back to that sometime.
swiftly. Well, indeed we should do, and this is a really good reason why, because obviously all of these people will not be using the services provided by Coleham Parish. They will be providing the services provided by Newquay Town Council.
We all know that. I totally agree with you.
Anyway, nobody else has responded to this apart from public protection, site allocations. Obviously, public protection air quality team have responded, raising no objection. There has been a public comment as well. It looks though as if this could be from Biffa. If you have a look at it, I read it a couple of times, and then I thought this is a commercial. This is a commercial concern and a commercial comment.
I mean, it's talking about having individual bin and waste recycling rather than community-based.
Which isn't actually part of this application. I think that's a commercial comment and probably a sensible one, but I don't think it relates to any changes being made as a part of this section 73. So it's there, but that's my interpretation of it anyway. You may correct me on that, but yeah, and the background for this is basically 2017. They got the outline approval. The reserved matters was in 2021, and we've seen a number of small modifications, mainly as non-material amendments. This is the first section 73 that we've had. This overhead, it doesn't. There are. I think there's about 8 fields altogether, and this only shows a small number of them that have been developed. But at least it's this kind of large triangular shape here, so at least you've got an idea of where it is. Obviously, this is a busily developed part of the town.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's the basically the red line site. This application only relates to one phase of this development. I'll open the design access statement because that's quite useful for us at this point. That's just showing it within the context of the town, the development areas of the towns that are sitting to the south there. Page 46. Let's make that slightly larger, if I can. There we go. This shows us the 5 phases of development. So you've got effectively 5 fields and 5 phases of development. The 3 to the bottom are all remaining as public open space. We're looking at this yellow one because this section 73 application only relates to phase 4, which will accommodate 72 dwellings altogether. I thought it might just be useful in the wake of having seen an application from Treveth where they've really changed the affordable housing. I thought I'd kind of just have a look at this and just reassure you a little bit with this one, because if you remember, we looked at an application recently and they'd largely got rid of the affordable rented, but you can see here you've got phase 4 has 72 dwellings. 50 of those are open market properties, 22 are affordable, so it comes in at about 30%-ish. Of those 22 affordable dwellings, 10 are shared ownership and 12 will be affordable rented accommodation. So that's I think you'll all agree that that's kind of a positive compared to the last application that we looked at, where they pretty much got rid of all bar one of the rented accommodations. But that's not too much to do with this application. I just wanted to sort of bring that to your attention. The changes to phase 4, they've given us a little summary that says the introduction of enhanced urban design principles to establish a sense of arrival and create a neighbourhood with character that feels rooted and welcoming. Try expressing that in terms of drawings when you've got like about 500 of them to look at. They also say that there is a substitution of house types to newer, more efficient and viable types. They're reducing the amount of land taken up by highways, and they're enhancing the landscaping. It really was something of a struggle to just kind of unpick this lot and to make comparisons between 2021 permission and what they're applying for now. I've literally just, and I've probably not done a very good job of this, I've literally just cobbled together some of the street elevations so that you can get an idea of the change to the look of the place, because there really were no comparable plans saying this is what this looks like then and this is what it looks like now. It really was quite difficult, as I say, to unpick the whole thing. So you've got, I'm just going to look at one small part of this. So you've got this street here, this frontage here. This is from 2021, and they've just named these blocks. They've obviously moved on a bit now, and so you've got that same street.
Is that terraced housing they've gone into now?
I'll show you in a minute. But you've got you've got sort of a full street of plots there, 1 to 13 and 14 to 33. So what I wanted to show you then, so previously this block N19, oh sorry, it's off the page now. So this first bit of block here, the top one is what was included in the reserved matters. The bottom image is what they're applying for now. So you can see there's, I would point out that it's still 72 dwellings. So it looks like they've added an enormous amount of dwellings to it, but it is still 72 dwellings within phase 4. So that's, but you get an appreciation perhaps of just the change in the street scene.
I got to admit, I do prefer the look of these, as if they could have put solar panels on these, because these look physically smaller than those.
Right, I mean, this is,
Yeah,
you have to bear in mind that I've sort of done
Yeah.
a bit of cut and pasting here, and this probably isn't
Okay,
quite
so
as
the scale.
It's not kind of giant houses and tiny houses.
But
What
I presume these were like wooden, they would have clad, and it looks like they've got that stone frontage that they were having. I don't know, they just look, with all these like little shadows and things that they've created, I don't think does it any benefit at all. I don't know. I mean, they put the solar panels on because it's coming as legislation that they have to, haven't they, with all new... Yeah, Joanna.
I don't know if there's another application going through, but what the Newquay Voice summarised it today, they're saying they're coming back with plans with a lot fewer houses, much bigger gardens, preserving the hedgerows. And then something that rang alarm bells for me is that when they say reduce highway spaces, what they really mean is reduce parking. And they're talking about just one parking place per unit. And when you go and look at something like Trevenson Meadows, it simply isn't enough. Now, I know the pressure is on to build. So are they building fewer houses? Because that's what they've
My
said.
understanding is that it's still 72 dwellings.
So have they all got 2 parking places?
I don't know. I can't answer that because I haven't seen anything that refers. I went through the design and access statements, and I mean
There
they're
may be another,
they're
there
virtually
may be another
identical.
wider application that I was reading about, and they were certainly indicating that the number of houses were going to go down because they wanted to preserve the hedgerows and have better gardens and all the rest of it.
I mean, this would suggest the number of houses going up, wouldn't it?
I can't understand how that drawing.
Right, well,
takes
let
the-
me, I can shed a little bit of light on that because I said that this is N19, so it's this block here. But then if you look at plots 1 to 13, to that question. I really wish that I could. As I say, I've been through the design and access statements, and they are almost identical. So it's you know it's there's nothing that I've not been able to find anything that says this is the amount of parking that was going to be there and this is the amount of parking that is going to be there.
I mean, this is
It's
just
an absolute nightmare
one area.
unpicking it. Apply policies like
I would say that if they are reducing the parking, and I, like you, I can't tell whether they are or not, that the evidence is on similar estates is that it's simply not enough parking if you're only having one parking per unit. If you look at your Benson Meadows, it's absolute hell. You know, they're up on the pavements, they're... Well, now Leaden does provide 2 places. There's never enough parking.
You see, to me, what they're
Is there a issue around deliverability because Treveth have done their development at Bedow Meadows and have then turned around and said we can't deliver the affordable housing that we should have done, and the only way to be financially viable was to take away all those rented. I mean, with this one, they appear to have kept the level of affordable rented.
at the moment.
Well, you can only look at what's put in front of you, obviously, but they appear to have. I mean, I don't know if this is supposed to be a viability thing or not, but if I go back to these, they are saying newer, more efficient and viable types. I mean, there is, you know, the word viable is affordable to build.
But they
This isn't necessarily all affordable. This isn't just the affordable housing. Sorry I can show you something that perhaps.
Joe, would you want to come back on? I mean, they all look really, don't they?
I will in a minute. I mean, I think I'm asking what are we being asked to do here?
Yeah.
That's because we're probably.
Looking at this, the affordable. Let's just get a bit. The affordable are these kind of peachy coloured ones. Okay. So on that, so we were just looking at the ones that we were looking at a minute ago for this terrace here.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, that maybe 50% of those are affordable.
So actually.
Pull up some elevations if you want to, because that would probably show you even better. In it that I've read that said we're reducing the number of car parking. They have said that they are a reduction in the amount of land taken up by highways, but then parking wouldn't be, unless it was the on-street parking wouldn't be highways, would it? Hours trying to figure, not really, no, it's really impenetrable, to be honest.
Can I just say that the diagrams, though, definitely look distinctively more crammed in, the second view, than the top lot? And is it because phase 1 have got less houses, and so they're having to cram more in on phase 4? I don't know. It just seemed a bit... If they've spread them out too much in phase 1 and 2...
I mean, all the houses, I mean, they're a basic box, aren't they? They're a box that people can live in, and they all have their own garden, and they've got 2 parking spaces.
I think we have to insist that they have 2 parking spaces, absolutely.
I mean,
and
if
the
they,
social housing
unfortunately,
figures.
we aren't able to, because it's outside of Newquay, our neighbourhood plan policies.
But can we recommend that they have
Yeah,
2?
no, absolutely. And I mean,
can we
Joanna's
also
already
say
said
that the social housing figures, that the reason they had planning permission in the beginning, I'm assuming, was because an element of this development was social housing, and it's affordable, so it has to they have to maintain that figure.
And they have done. Sorry,
Yeah, but going down the road, you know.
They do also provide rented accommodation, and that's what they changed.
That's what they changed with Bedower Meadows, and what I was trying to show you was that there's a much better mix still. But I mean, that's not part of the application. That's, you know, that was agreed back in 2021.
Okay, well, I think
But it might be that these are a bit more crowded here because of larger gardens and more green space around these houses. I mean, there's... Because they aren't gaining or losing any number of houses.
It's good that they're keeping the original hedgerows and things.
Yeah.
That's a positive thing, but the 2 parking spaces is something we need
I'm
to
not sure.
be
I mean, I
consistent.
can't like.
You've got 2 design and access statements, 5 years apart from each other, and there's no difference between them whatsoever. I just thought, oh, I'll just run through the design and access statements and show you the difference, and it's just, it's all the same. Yeah.
This one talks a lot about the Saints Trail being cancelled.
Connectivity.
So they haven't the document I'm looking at doesn't appear to have been updated to the modern day. Yeah, so we can go back and say the design and access statement doesn't appear to have been updated.
and we can't feel that we can...
I mean, I'd be delighted to have the Saints Trail there, but it's not happening at the moment.
So I'm not quite sure
Ah.
what the point is of us voting on, really. Are we just...
What are we being asked to do?
Yeah, it's not in our parish. But we're just being, it's pointed out, being consulted on, but we've got the concerns we have, we can't raise because it's not in our parish.
It doesn't happen, nobody else has really responded yet. I mean, it
Yeah.
might have been easier if Colin had looked at it and sort of
Yeah,
given
no,
their,
well,
given
I
their
was there at
view.
last Wednesday's parish meeting, and it wasn't brought up at all. So, yeah.
It is quite fresh.
Okay. No. So was that screening or screening?
It would help if they'd given us a description of what's changed, which they haven't actually done.
No.
have they?
So, I mean, are we going to pass back that we don't feel that we're in a position to broadly comment on this application?
I think we can say it would help if you just told us what the differences were, which
Yeah.
they really haven't done.
Yeah. With confusing documents that don't seem to depict, you know, a change, you know, in terms of, you know, spotting where's Wally or spot the difference. It's not really that helpful, is it? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know what to say.
These street elevations were literally all that I could sort of
Right.
kind of get together that show that where you could look, you know, sort of before and after, which is the way that, you know, we would normally look at section 73.
So,
Yeah.
can I'm looking at
Yeah,
the
go on, Joanna.
design and access statement. I'm on to 2.26, which is parking, which is page, I think, 47. And that does say 706 parking spaces are shown across the development. This equates to about 2 spaces per dwelling as requested. Blah, blah, blah. Is also supported by the local Cornwall Council member. The spaces will provide a mix of destination unadopted. The intention is that each dwelling enjoys at least one allocated space.
I believe that this is what the 2021 document said as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure they've actually changed it. Larger number of parking spaces throughout the development will be laid out as accessible spaces, including the opportunity for future widening of some spaces to aid adaptation. Now, is this the latest thinking?
But we just
I
don't
just
know.
don't think they've updated it.
I don't know. I don't think we can. I don't feel happy commenting on this at all, let alone voting on something. It looks like they've got another SUDS in, haven't they? Looking at that, if that's the current one, because before they just had the one down here, and it looks like they've got another one up here. I mean, it'd be nice if they had permeable surfaces, rather than it all being run off into those SUDs. I don't know if those SUDs are adequate enough going into the future. And just having blank fields, is there any play space that's going in for children, you know, or is it just, here's a green field that... Yeah. So, which is sort of like going down onto the floodplain, isn't it?
How long have we got to comment on this one? Is it possible for us to come back and look at it again in 2 weeks when we've got a bit more information?
The next meeting's the 15th.
Yeah, I think that's today. So I'm sure Steve Kirby would. I think I need to have a conversation with him, don't I? And just
Yeah.
say, Steve,
So-
we can't make head or tail of this, and could we have a slight extension so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can look at it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Can we do that? And then,
Yeah.
and actually somebody point out what is the change, what
Yeah,
really
because some of
apart
the
from
stuff
just...
in this, the design and access statement has not been updated It's got the Saints Trail in there, so it's
Yeah.
clearly not been updated.
Yeah,
So we don't know what's right and what's wrong.
yeah, yeah. So shall we, I'll propose what Duncan's proposed, seconder?
Defer it.
Yeah, Joanna seconded, so yeah, deferring it then, if we could, please, thank you. That was everything. Right. Yeah, if we can do that. I mean, if we don't see it again, it's not the end of the world because it's not in our parish, and I don't think much of what we're going to say is going to make a difference anyway. So, right. I think that's it, isn't it? For yeah. Terms of reference, no changes, have we? I don't think. No. Right, working parties, Joanna. Well, we haven't had any working parties meet, have we? We've got.
I'm disappointed that we haven't had the presentation from the people who are looking at Tregunville Car Park, which would be for the parking working party. We're waiting to see what Cornwall Council are talking about with the neighbourhood priority statements, because we know that's something we could possibly do in here. There's one other thing I was thinking that we could look at. But, oh yes, and the other thing is we are having a meeting on this idea of getting a coastal change management plan to go with our coastal change management area. But again, at the moment we haven't heard anything more on that.
Yeah.
But I believe there's a meeting being set up so we can discuss it.
Yeah.
On the 8th?
Could be.
Yeah, sometime quite
Yes,
soon.
Coastal Management Plan, it's on the 8th, 3:30. Yeah, for Helen.
8th of April.
8th of April, yeah. Next Wednesday. Yeah.
So
after
we
my garden
report
group.
back to the next meeting.
Yeah. Brilliant. Financial statements, skiing? No. Can we get some batteries for the clock? Joe went and changed the time and it died.
He broke it.
It's to the time stood still with you. Yeah.
It's the story of this meeting.
Yeah. It's not. Other correspondence? Do we have a plethora of
No, nothing that the committee needs to worry
weekly
about.
decisions? We do. Well. Do you want to just quickly with Dane Road? Not Dane Road. Yeah, Dane Road. No,
King Edward's Crescent.
King Edward's Crescent.
I'd put that on as an information item. Yeah, we've had notice of appeal that came in today for 1 King Edward Crescent. So this would be its second appeal, but it's only come in this afternoon, so it'll have as a decision item. It needs to be on the next agenda rather than this one, but as an information item,
Okay.
just so that you're aware of it.
It would be interesting to know whether we're in a position of being able to comment further if we wanted
Yes,
to
you
comment
are.
further.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are, so it's not one
Yeah,
of these.
sorry,
Yeah.
I did email you back.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you can add to your comments, you can withdraw your comments, you can engage.
So, but not in this
Hold
meeting.
up.
Is that for next meeting then to do that? Okay, that's next meeting. Okay, we'll leave that then. That's fine. Right, weekly decision list. I don't think there's anything particularly mind-blowing on that. And the date of the next meeting is the 15th of April. And I think that's it. There's not a stampede of comments. No, wonderful. Thank you very much. And see you then.